Your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
Good evening, everyone. A long-term Salamanca stallholder says he's furious at the mess left over from last night's end-of-year festivities. Thousands of Tasmanians turned out across the state to celebrate Builders' breakup, but some people's overindulgence meant police were left with no choice but to make arrests.
Gearing up for a big night on the town, these crowds gathered early last night to mark the end of their working year. Thousands partying throughout the evening, packing bars and pubs such as Salamanca's The Whaler.
Everyone seemed to be enjoying themselves. We had a stage out there with bands and DJs, had food outside and another bar outside.
For venues such as Launceston Sporties, the evening's popularity outstrips other major events.
It makes all of us merry, especially the publicans and the people that are here, so yeah, it's a win-win for everyone.
Those extra crowds seeing police resources ramped up, but it wasn't all good news. In Hobart alone, 14 arrests had to be made, most involving young men. This long-term stallholder at Salamanca says he's furious at the mess left over from what's also known as Cage Night, labelling it disgusting and disrespectful.
Well, Cage Night just seems to be a swill fest of people getting drunk and vomiting and urinating all over the buildings and all behind the trees. It's just not really part of what Tasmania's about. If people had an idea that that's going on, I think people would be fairly disappointed with it.
Justin set up just after 5 this morning and says council crews spent hours dealing with the aftermath.
This was a sea of glass all the way through here, from just like inches deep of smashed glass.
This afternoon, behaviour was under control, but it's a busy trading weekend all round in Salamanca, with local makers saying the summer numbers are critical for business.
It's just really good. We get a lot of people out here looking for new craft products, a lot of Christmas vibe, everyone's decorating, and yeah, it's just a really fun time.
We get a lot of tourists and a lot of people who have moved overseas and interstate, and they're coming home, so it's nice to be able to bring a little bit of Tassie back to their new homes with them.
Louise Hedger, 7 Tasmania News.
An historic building dating back more than 150 years has been destroyed by fire. The abandoned Mount Pleasant Gatehouse in Launceston went up in flames, with firefighters still trying to determine a cause.
History goes up in flames as fire ravages the Mount Pleasant Gatehouse in Prospect. The building, built in the 1860s, didn't stand a chance as the inferno quickly tightened its grip.
There was black smoke, and by the time we come up the road, there wasn't much. There was a little bit of smoke, and then instantly there was flames come out of the roof. Tiles fell off. Probably 5-10 minutes later, the roof was gone.
The blaze began just after 3:30. The abandoned building is now destroyed despite the best efforts of firefighters to save it.
It's fully involved when we arrived, so yeah, it was burning up through the roof. We've managed to contain it, but it has significantly damaged the main of the structure.
How the fire started and if it was deliberately lit is still under investigation. 3 crews responded after commuters on Westbury Road alerted the TFS to what was unfolding.
People have been vigilant driving up the street and noticed that it was on fire.
Busy traffic was reduced to a crawl as firefighters contained the blaze. The final day for a once proud property. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
And a car fire on one of Hobart's busiest highways caused significant traffic delays across the city this afternoon. Police and fire crews were called to the scene on the southern outlet near Tolman's Hill around 3:30. The van fire forcing one of the southbound lanes to close as officers cleared the scene. Police say they believe mechanical issues were to blame for the blaze, which was quickly contained. Recruitment is now underway for a long-awaited new mental health program aimed at addressing chronic overcrowding in Tasmania's hospitals. The mental health hospital in the home service will help to treat patients in their own homes instead of adding pressure to the state's embattled emergency departments. Set up to help patients while the new 12-bed St John's Park facility at Newtown is being built. Applications are now open for a psychiatrist, medical officer, allied health professionals and nurses to roll out the Tasmanian First program. The search is continuing tonight for a 76-year-old man believed to be missing in Tasmania's southwest. 4 search and rescue crews spent the evening in the remote area trying to find any clue of where James Hugh McLean may be. He left for his walk from the Hawthorn area on the 12th of November and was expected to return on the 13th of December. Police are now calling for assistance from the public and asking anybody who may have seen him on the walk or since to contact them. A new $100 million Tasmanian-made ferry has today been moved onto the River Derwent, preparing to set sail for Mediterranean waters next month. More than 650 people were involved in the massive build, labelled as a new era for shipbuilder Incat.
110 metres long and weighing in at 10,000 tonnes. This Tasmanian-made catamaran preparing to work in European waters.
It's bound for Malta. It will be running a service between Malta and Sicily. It effectively will be supplying all the supermarkets in Malta with all their daily goods, but its main purpose is carrying trucks and passengers.
Costing more than $100 million, the ferry took 18 months to build at the Hobart sheds, launched by Incat today.
It's kept employed 650 people in our yard directly, and probably 200 to 300 subcontractors, mostly Tasmanians, that have earned good money out of this ship.
More than 1,000 passenger seats on board and room for hundreds of vehicles on the 90-minute sailings. When it arrives, the St John Paul II will be the largest high-speed catamaran in the Mediterranean.
The sea trials will be starting about the middle of January. That'll take best part of a week. A few little tweaking things to do on board, filling up the fuel tanks.
The ship is now being prepared to head off to Europe in the next few weeks, but it's still a busy time for the company and its staff, with several international projects on the go.
It's an exciting day. It's the beginning of a new era, if you like, in shipbuilding, because for a whole range of reasons, a lot more of these ships are needed in service.
And construction has already started on Incat's next big project, a 111-metre vessel due for completion mid-next year. Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian families are being treated to a Christmas wonderland this weekend as Santa makes a flying visit to Hobart before the big day. Thousands of people taking part in some festive fun as excitement levels skyrocket.
With only 3 sleeps until the big day, excitement is building. Santa's Funland drawing in thousands at Glenorchy today, and it's on again tomorrow, with the festive spirit in full swing.
Oh, it's fantastic. The biggest smiles I'm seeing everywhere today, nearly as big as mine.
Little ones jumping behind the wheel, roaring down blow-up slides, and getting their feel of a white Christmas. But perhaps the most exciting part of all is meeting Santa.
He gave me a lollipop.
Are you the luckiest girl in the whole wide world?
Yes.
Wish lists have been received at the North Pole for months now, with requests ranging from Lego sets to live animals.
And a lot of people want ponies.
Pony?
Real ones.
The man of the moment says he's been busy preparing for the big trip, and he and his reindeers are almost ready for December 25th.
Everyone's been good, you know. They've been keeping their rooms nice and clean, and they go to bed early.
And what's the best bit about Christmas time?
Presents, and you get to go to your family and have a nice day with your family.
But no matter your priority this festive season, one message remains the same.
I'd just like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and be safe.
Louise Hedger, 7 Tasmania News.
Swimmers have been advised not to enter the water at a popular beach near Hobart after heavy rainfall earlier this week impacted the water's quality. The Kingborough Council today suggesting swimmers avoid the northern end of Kingston Beach near Browns River. The council says historically the river experiences poor water quality for a few days after significant rainfall because of its catchment area. Swimmers are expected to be allowed back in on Monday morning.
It's been another setback for Hawthorn veteran and former Tasmanian Grant Birchall. It's understood the 30-year-old had to go under the knife for another round of knee surgery before attending the Hawks summer training camp in Mooloolaba. It follows 2 separate surgeries earlier in the year. Having played 245 matches, Birchall and Jared Roughead are the only remaining members of the 2008 Premiership side still on the Hawks list. At this stage, Birchall's contract expires at the end of next year. And crews in this year's Launceston to Hobart are busy adding their final touches to their prized yachts. 26 boats are heading to Beauty Point for next week's race, including one team putting family ties to the test. Sanding Sassy is the final task for this family team before shifting the boat to Beauty Point for race day. The 11-metre vessel is a labour of love for the 6-person crew.
It's just a family environment that happens to sail.
Sassy might not be the biggest boat in this year's race, but it's a monster compared to the 8-metre boat the crew had previously used.
The 8-metre boat will turn in its own length. This one won't. The 8-metre boat weighs less than 2 tonne. This weighs over 6. It's just a totally different environment.
One of the charms of the Launceston to Hobart is how teams of all competitive levels are welcomed. Make no mistake, Sassy will be having a red-hot crack, but skipper Ian admits there's still room for little luxuries.
The weather goes a bit bad, we'll go and hide behind an island somewhere and maybe open a bottle of bread and something and think about all the poor people trying to win the race.
At Beauty Point, Lawless is ready to go. After a brief break from competition, the 2015 handicap champion is ready to return to the water.
Clean the bottom, polish the sides and set sail.
The vessel's a veteran, having been runner-up in the 1984 Sydney Hobart and falling into Steve's hands in 2005. He's here for the love of sailing, having spent much of his life on the Tamar's beautiful waters.
Been sailing since I was about 10. All my family's been involved with the club, with Port Dalrymple Yacht Club. So yeah, we'll fly the flag for the club and hopefully we'll get there.
Racing begins on Thursday.
Good evening. Maximum temperatures were generally 1 to 3 degrees below average today. Hobart 18 degrees, 21 in Launceston, which was the state's high, Burnie 20 and Devonport 19. That high of 21 was shared across the state today by Smithton, Friendly Beaches and Ouse, 19 at Flinders Island and Low Head and Grove, King Island 18 along with St Helens and Strawn, 17 from Maria Island and Lyawini 14. On the satellite here, we can see partly cloudy conditions over Tasmania with patchy low-level cloud. That low-level cloud is seen over the coasts and ranges of Victoria and New South Wales, and thunderstorms are over parts of WA, the Northern Territory and Queensland. Tomorrow shows an area of high pressure over south-eastern Australia with high centres to the north and east of Tasmania. A number of troughs persist about the rest of Australia. A look to coastal waters, west to northwesterly winds 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots about the west, south and northeast, tending northerly in the east, seas 2 to 3 metres. A strong wind warning for southern, western and northeastern coastal waters and a small craft wind alert for the southwest lakes. A minor flood warning is current for the South Esk River. Tomorrow in Hobart and Ouse 24, 25 at Richmond, all partly cloudy. A mostly sunny day in Launceston, 23, partly cloudy in Devonport, 21, and mostly sunny in Deloraine, 22 degrees. Burnie, a partly cloudy, 21, 20 for Strawn with a light shower or two, partly cloudy at Curry, 19. Mostly sunny in St Helens, 23, 25 for Swansea, partly cloudy at Whitemark, 19. The UV is 11s, which is extreme. Fine conditions on Monday for Christmas Eve, apart from late showers about the southwest. Showers about the west and south in the morning on Christmas Day. Fine otherwise until showers develop in the east during the afternoon, extending to the southeast and central district in the evening. And on Boxing Day, morning showers about the east, mainly fine elsewhere. A look to mainland conditions now, mostly sunny in Perth, Melbourne, Canberra, Alice Springs and Adelaide. A possible shower for Sydney and Cairns, while Darwin and Broome can expect a possible shower or storm.
That's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening. Good night.